What's up, guys? I'm Rico.
And I'm Dan.
And we're two dudes. And today we're going to talk about college. And is college a scam? So why are we talking about college? Why are we talking about, getting a degree and all these things when all you guys really want to talk about is how to make $10,000 a month with e-commerce? Simple. What no one seems to talk about is the fact that you have to have money to get into any business venture. It doesn't matter if it's e-commerce, affiliate marketing, whatever. You still have to, with affiliate marketing, it's very low startup, but you have to have a website, you have to be able to drive traffic, you have to be able to do all these things. Same thing with Shopify and all this. Like, you have to have money. You can't just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to start a business with no money. It just doesn't work. And college is what gave us the tools, that gave us the fundamentals to get the cash to start a business. There was no other way for us to do this. We weren't born into money. We both came from single parent households. We came from nothing, basically. When I look back on it, I'm like, oh man, we were so broke, so broke,
Flat broke.
But at this stage, going to college helped us get the funds to do something better. And that's why you need an escape in order to get that capital. Whether you decide you're going to be an accountant or an engineer or a doctor or whatever, you're going to need some type of schooling, some type of education in order to make that happen. And that'll give you the capital to start your business venture. So we highly recommend that.
So is college really a scam? It really depends on how you look at it. You got to look at your return on investment. For us it worked out great because we both got our bachelor's degree in information science, both heavily active in the IT field. A lot of money to be made there. A lot of money to be made in the things there. But
nice.
when you look at it, it costs an exorbitant amount of money. My student loans totaled out to be about $50,000 to $60,000 when I graduated. You got to look at when you get out of college, depending on what you major in, what are you going to land right away? Are you going to get a job that's paying $25,000, $30,000 a year? You're going to get a job that pays $65,000 to $70,000 a year. That's one of the hardest parts. You need to kind of know what you're getting into before you go to college. I think the return on investment's fantastic. It really provides growth potential and opportunity, and you can really kind of carve out a niche for your life and where you really want to go. And it's kind of like having a looking glass. Going into the future with a plan, with opportunity, and it was a tremendous benefit for me when I went.
College, by far, best decision I've ever made in my life. Outside of being an entrepreneur, and both of us getting LASIK, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Another good suggestion.
Get it done.
But going to college is definitely a personal decision. You don't necessarily want to go for your parents or go because your friends are going. You want to go because college is going to benefit you in the career path that you chose. And me and Dan, we both kind of fell into entrepreneurship. We had businesses before this, we had tried them, and you need capital. You have to have capital. Like all these people that are saying that you can start a business with no money, start a Shopify store with no money, start an Amazon business with no money. Like you have to have money, so you have to have capital. And college helped us get careers that provided us capital, that helped us, buy the RCF and the GTR and the R, the Focus RS and the Evo 10s and all these other things that we have. College, for me, it was well worth it. For the both of us. I would not be where I am today without college. Now, granted, we're doing a lot more things than just our day jobs, but college was a stepping stone that helped us get there. And for everyone that says college is a waste of time, it's a waste of money, like, yes, college is expensive. Just like Dan said, college is insanely expensive. And chances are, if you major in a bunch of, BS, if you're an English major and don't plan on teaching, you just kind of shot yourself in the foot, because the return on investment is going to be nil. You're going to go to some expensive private, liberal arts college, make, $30,000, $40,000 a year, but your student loans are going to be $80,000 to $100,000 a year. It doesn't make any sense. And our stories are different on why we both went to college, but it pans out. We ended up in the same place. Like for me, I was in the military prior to this, so and for everyone who thinks that the military, you make a crap ton of money, everybody, you don't. You make like no money when you first enlist. Yeah, you can live off base and make BH and all that stuff, but realistically, like, you're not making that much money. You might be making $30,000, $40,000 a year, depending on where you live too. So if you live in California, the BAH is $2,000 a month. If you live in Canyon, New Mexico, the BAH is $700 a month. So that's a huge difference. That's a $1,300 discrepancy. So $1,300 a month just got zapped out of your income. You know, and it's not something that I wanted for myself. You know, I never saw myself making $30,000 a year, and that was the end of it. You know, I wanted more. I wanted, at the time, I was like, oh, I just want to make, you know, $80,000, $90,000 a year, and I'll be happy. And, you know, accomplishing that, like, I'm very, very happy. You know, I've accomplished that goal and then some, and I absolutely love it. But there's more to life than that, and that's where entrepreneurship, you know, came in. College just helped me get there faster. I'm not saying that you can't do it without college, but you can't be a doctor without it. Chances are you're not going to be an engineer without it. You're not going to get to work at Boeing or Lockheed Martin, you know, without an engineering degree. You're just not, you know. And, you know, that was my story. I had kids to take care of. You know, my main motivation for going to college was to take care of my kids. You know, I'm a single dad for, you know, the people that actually do know me. And taking care of kids is expensive. You know, I'm like, I got to pay for daycare. I have to pay for groceries and all these other things. And at the time, there was no way for me to do that effectively, making $30,000 a year. So I'm like, I have to double or even triple my income, and how I'm going to do that? I'm going to go to college, and that's what I did. You know, so I went to Penn State. You know, if you guys couldn't tell, and I graduated in a little bit over 2 years. It was almost 3 years. You know, I got my bachelor's. You know, I was going to school year-round. I took 7 to 8 classes a semester. So most of the businesses that I was going to apply for my internships with required you to be a rising senior or a rising junior. In order to get a job offer, you had to be a rising senior. So I knew I had to graduate early. I knew I had to at least be a senior by the end of my first natural year, which was tough. And I was miserable, and I hated life, and I had no fun in college. I was older than everyone else. I was in my early 20s, you know, but at that stage it didn't matter. You know, my kids were what was most important. And for me, that was my driving factor, and it worked out. You know, I mean, I got my job offers. I got more job offers than I knew what to do with, and it was awesome. You know, I studied hard. I had to grind it out. You know, it was a hustle, and it worked. You know, I have no complaints, and hands down, best decision I've ever made. Pretty sure it was Dan's best decision. And he'll tell you all about that because his experience was way different than mine.
Just a little bit. Mine was more of a run-of-the-mill college experience. So I grew up in a military family, and my dad told me when I was young, he's like, you got two choices: you either go in the military or you go to college. So I obviously chose college. I was flirting with military for a while, much like Rico did. But I had more of the run-of-the-mill college experience. So I went to University of Pittsburgh. I spent quite some time there. Getting my bachelor's degree in information science, and it was the true 4 in 4 out kind of deal. Got to college, didn't know what I was going to do. I was kind of wet behind the ears. I was broke. I was flat broke my entire time in college. Flat broke. Working at like Five Guys. Making like $6 an hour, trying to survive. And I grew up in a family that was relatively poor. It was a luxury to have electricity on. So I had to work from a very, very early age. So I knew going to college that I needed to get into a field that was going to pay well, and a growing field, an expanding field. You don't want something that's contracting. You don't want something that doesn't have much of a future.
English.
Exactly. Something that and I also wanted to get into something that wasn't going to require a master's degree. I knew when I was going to college, I was like, look, I just want to get through. So I ended up, like I said, I chose information science, and it panned out very well. But while in college, I went through a lot of motions. I started on computer engineering, went to pre-med, then did some pre-law, and was looking to go to law school.
Yeah, we all start that.
Yep. It's you find your way in college, and you also find out who you are. And that was one of the biggest things that I took away from college was becoming a man. Was also understanding that I didn't want to spend the rest of my life doing the 9 to 5. I didn't want. I've always had that mindset of I want to work for myself. I want to make all that money myself. I want to get these fancy cars and travel the world and all that fun stuff. And in order to do that, I realized that some people can if you become like an executive, but I have no want or need to do that. I'd rather run a business or co-run a business, at least in our instance. Make a killing and just reinvest the money in other places. So college taught me that entrepreneurial mindset, and that's something that if you're open and you're willing to listen and learn through college when you develop. Once you get out of high school, through college when you develop as a human being, as a woman or a man, you'll find out real quick if you have that type of mindset. So that's a lot of the things that I took away from college. I had a lot of fun, joining fraternities, stuff like that. I lived it up. But
yeah. Okay.
But now that you gotta, while you're in college, the most important aspect is taking away what you learned there and applying it to real world concepts. Much like we do today. So essentially, like Rico said, one of the biggest keys to success in e-commerce is having the ability to make, you know, large amounts of money per month or year. You know, it's starting point being $10,000 a month. You know, it's really not, doesn't take much time to get to that point. But, you know, leading back to, you know, the original question was, you know, why are we talking about college? Like Rico said, you know, why are we talking about college? What does this really have to do with e-commerce? And, you know, at least coming from my point and, you know, following up on his, is e-commerce is its own entity. You know, going to college will help you get a job that you can, you know, become sustainable with, you know, get a sustainable flow of income, and then you can apply some of that depending on what your cash flow situation looks like to e-commerce. You know, it doesn't take mega money. It doesn't take millions of dollars to get started. You don't have to have a ton of capital in the bank, but unlike whatever, you know, what a lot of people want you to believe is that you don't need any money to make money, and that's wrong. It's you know, it's a lie. You know, you need some money, you need some capital to invest in products, you know, to make sure that they get out the door. You know, and that's, you're not going to do it empty-handed. You know, you need to have some money in the bank, and that's, you know, we use college to kind of help us, you know, get to that point, get us some good jobs, get us some money. It takes a few years. You know, when you get out of college, it's going to probably take you a few years to make decent money, but you know, you're going to need to sack away some money, much like you do with your 401k, that you can invest into e-commerce, and you know, to help it take off.
So with that, everybody, good night, Cleveland. I'm just kidding. No, just peace out, everybody. You know, we'll see you guys later. Make sure you guys like our content, subscribe to the channel, and get in a Facebook group, because we're doing giveaways every single week, guys. Like, we can't give things away if you guys aren't partaking in it. If you're not going to participate, we can't hook you up with PlayStations and Xboxes and Switches and all types of other things. So if you guys want to be playing Madden on, you know, on the Xbox One S this year, guys gotta jump in, get in the Facebook group. The link is in the description.
Spread the word to your friends, family, anybody you possibly can. We're here to help you guys out. You know, as part of that is, you know, the giveaway, you know, of course. But, you know, spread the word and get people to, you know, join the group. We can, you know, start talking about things and, you know, get you well on your way to being successful in e-commerce.
Peace.